What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the European Racing Series final Grand Prix here for the season in Abu Dhabi. I'm Ben Raggan McConnell, and joining me is the incredibly talented David Fawcetti Tate. How you doing?
So talented, you forgot my name there, but yeah, I'll take the compliment.
It was a flub. That was all it was. It was a flub.
Okay, I believe
my mouth
you. Le Mans
just
winner,
suddenly shut down.
McConnell, otherwise known as Raggy. Thank you very much for joining me.
My pleasure.
For, as you said, the final race of the season. The season's already been wrapped up, of course, title winner Mizzo. But still a lot of pride out there to be played for, still a definite battle between Some Idiot and Veloce Hypers, I'm sure, with maybe Mizzo picking up some scraps. But yeah.
There's something else to know though, is Yepany did actually join the session, but he joined just after it got set up, so there is a 15th driver. He's just not able to take part in the qualifying session, and that is down to himself. Oh my word, I forgot how good that sounds. I just remembered how amazing it is to spectate drivers on this circuit when they come through the pit lane and go under the tunnel. It makes such a beautiful bellow. In fact, I'm going to find... Who's coming out now? There's a Ferrari. That's got to be...
Fragioco.
Ready, listen. Oh, that's so good. You know what, Codemasters? Fair play, that's good. I like that.
So that alone is probably a reason to pre-order 2020, right? Kappa.
Well, there is not just that. I mean, it also is the same in Monaco. Yeah, like the bit when obviously when they go through the tunnel, the sound that makes is just tremendous. It makes commentating those races, whilst for the most part they can be quite dull because there's no real overtaking opportunity. But that sound alone just makes it such a delight.
Couldn't agree more, but no such thing as a dull Monaco race.
I would agree.
If you're behind the wheel, that is.
yeah. I know. That's the thing. It's one of them circuits where it's so, it's such a hard track to race on in general. Then you put in other cars on there and you got to overtake them and stuff. It just makes it that even bit harder. As Kagan is going to be our first person to set a time on, but he's doing it on hards.
Soft. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, wrong guy. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's... Actually, I've also just realised Euless is here. I haven't seen Euless drive in a very long time.
He was the one I spectated, yeah. Euless back. Hopefully he's got his connection sorted, because on his day, he was blindingly quick.
Yeah. Yeah, he really was.
And, Kagan already aborted his lap, so... Not sure what's going on there, but Danico ahead of him now, is now the first driver on track.
Yeah, it says he's on an out lap, but it also says he's invalidated, so I'm not sure... if he has actually done that.
Yeah, very true.
Yonti there, he's going to be the next one, and his teammate is right behind him as well, Beaker. So Yonti is obviously the driver's champion for ERS. The question is now, though, who's going to be the 1, 2, 3 at the end of the qualifying?
Well, if you're asking me, that is. I don't think it's a rhetorical question. You're always going to put me on the spot there, aren't you?
Yep.
I would say Hypers, Some Idiot, Mizzo. Play it pretty safe.
Hypers, Some Idiot, Mizzo. I'm trying to see anywhere that wouldn't be the top 3, and I'm struggling. I don't think there's anybody. I mean, Euless has... Actually, saying that, Euless is actually really good at this circuit. This is actually one of the few circuits he's incredibly fast at. So, I want to rule him out, but I don't want to rule him out at the same time. So, just to be different, I am going to go Hypers, Some Idiot, Euless. Not that I don't have any faith in Mizzo, just I want to be different.
That's fair. Yonti takes provisional pole, being the first guy across. Some Idiot and Veloce Hypers now entering the last 2 corners. Some Idiot will come across the line first. Hypers fails out of his lap despite setting a purple first sector. So still time for Hypers, and that's a pretty scary sign if he aborts the lap despite getting a purple first sector. But Some Idiot takes the pole initially. 33.9, that's 2 tenths clear of Yonti, and a whopping 9 tenths clear of Spicy.
Here comes Fragioco then to the line. Is it going to be anywhere near it? It's a 1:34.936. Not quite sufficient enough. We got just chilling as well, the next car to come across, but he's on medium, so I'm expecting his time to be blistering quick. But then Mizzo, who you've put in your top 3, has actually gone P2 with a 1:34.079.
Yeah, well, I put him behind Some Idiot, and he's kind of shown that I'm right, but obviously there's a lot of track to develop. There's two more runs, I would say, available to these guys, and it all comes down to that final run, really, realistically.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Danico, then, he's going to be the next one to the line. There is a Toro Rosso ahead. Kagan actually might be able to get time in. He did invalidate his first lap. It does look like using his ERS, he's decided to commit to this one, but I'm expecting this to be the slowest lap for obvious reasons. Yeah. He's on the hard tyres.
He is, yeah. Not entirely sure what that's about. Maybe he'll be switching to the mediums and trying the contra strategy. But it is, as you say, the slowest lap by some distance as Dennis has left the session.
Oh dear, not
I'm
good.
going to check the Discord. Might be looking at Rio still.
Host hasn't migrated, unless it migrated immediately.
It's a very nice microphone you got there, Ben.
Is it popping? My bad.
It's bad, yeah.
Is it fixed?
Yeah.
Okay. My cable doing its usual poppy pop. My apologies for deafening all of you. Hugo's is one of the few others that hasn't actually set. Yeah, Dennis has rejoined, so we're all good. But yeah, Hugo's hasn't set a time on the board along with 4 other drivers. Copy out there currently on the back straight, and then the others are in the pits and one on an out lap. So we'll see. I'm wondering if, in terms of going into this circuit here, what the strategy is going to be, because the softs are actually quite easy to destroy here, especially sector 1, and this is actually where it's pretty crucial. If you get the setup just right in the car, the balance just right, you'll be fine through sector 1, but you'll lose time down the back straights, and there are 2 major back straights that you can't really afford to lose any sort of pace on. So it's a risk-reward sort of scenario. You need to make sure you've got enough downforce to be able to navigate sector 1 perfectly, especially that long right-hander. I've seen many a time. In fact, Beaker in particular, I remember this one because it was quite a severe crash. He went off wide through the right-hander, bounced onto the curbs, and then flew off into the wall and just exploded into 1,000 pieces. And obviously, needless to say, he DNF'd that race. But my word, it was such a horrific crash. And again, it comes down to it, just making sure your setup is just right. You got to balance in perfect, and you don't lose any time down the straights. That's the fine art, I think, when it comes to this.
Yeah, not many high-speed corners that require that downforce, apart from the turn 2 and 3. Which, as you said, yeah, it's been the end of my race a couple of times as well. It's a real balancing act. Those 90-degree corners aren't going to take a whole lot of downforce, but you are going to need the car to bite in and maybe oversteer a little bit. But yeah, you're going to have to balance that out with safety through turn 2 and 3, especially when those tyres start going a bit past their best. But yeah, it's all a balancing act, and I think it's one that Hypers will probably have nailed down with those Veloce setups, eh, Ben?
I don't know about that. He makes his own setups. He doesn't actually use anybody else's. I'd be surprised if he isn't up there at the top anyway, because his setups are actually usually pretty stable, to be fair. I mean, I've used his in a couple of races myself. I think Kagan and Eulis are working together here. It was not very well executed, if that was the case. However, Eulis did get a little bit of a tow. He did set up for purple sector 1. He's now just set purple sector 2. So Eulis, somebody who I did put in my top 3, might actually be able to succeed and get himself in the top 3.
Yeah, both Turkish drivers, so every chance that they will be communicating. And also, you know, Red Bull, Toro Rosso, kind of the same team, essentially. I don't think that has any bearing on it, but he's gone very wide though, Lus.
He does that every time. That's somewhere he's
it's very loose as well. It's the final 2 corners.
Ooh.
Again, getting loose over that outside curb. Carl washing out through the final corner. Not a pretty end to the lap, but it's enough. I just think he's lost a lot of time in that final sector. Yeah, plenty more time to come from Ulas.
And to think that he got purple sectors in all 3 sectors just kind of shows.
Was it a purple sector 3 as well?
Oh, well, the whole track little purple, which I would assume
that
means
just
he did it.
happens in general if you get the final sector, if you get the pole position.
We should actually test that. So, well, we've got a 4-way going on here, all the way out the hairpin, and immediately we're going to be seeing Yonti getting the tow from Beaker. Beaker just moves out of the way in the nick of time, and Yonti is looking very good and set for a nice, solid final lap, as long as he doesn't make a mistake here. This is one of 2 major crucial areas when it comes to braking zones. Obviously, you got the chicane at the end of the first straight, and then you have a very awkward chicane at the end of this one. This one is, you want to carry momentum through, but you don't want to carry too much, because the next chicane is actually really quite awkward to navigate, and if you run wide, on the left-hander, so not this one, but the next one. If you run wide here, you can very easily invalidate and even destabilize your car. And again, you don't want to bump that curb on the inside too much either. It's just so easy to make mistakes on that sector of the circuit that I think that's where all the time will be made or lost.
Yeah, I think big cut from Hypers there going through that second chicane. So he's coming back into the pits, yeah. 7 minutes to go, still no lap. So all the pressure is going to be on one run, I think. Oh, he's retired.
I wonder if he hasn't got quali ban, has he? I can't think of a reason why he would have got it, because he wasn't there last week.
But one thing I do want to say, I did check the race director, so some idiot was quicker than Ulas in that final sector on both their laps. So yeah, just gone green in all of them because he got pole. I'm just going to quickly check the Discord, see if there's any quali bans or anything.
So, okay, in that case then, with now Hyper's out, I think realistically, the three that we think are going to be in the top three is looking very likely to be some idiot, Ulyss, and Mizzo. Although Yonti has started to put his name up there as well, but I think it's more the fact that the track has evolved so much and he's getting the toe from his teammate. Mizzo improves a 133.720, and I don't actually think he's getting the toe.
No, they seem like they're pretty spaced out. Obviously, Hugo's in between them as well. No, I don't think they are working together, but very good pace from Mizzo. And I think that shows what Ulas's time could have been with a perfect final sector. And it also shows how the track is developing over time.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, Bika then, he received the toe this time round. He gave the toe to Yonti last lap. Let's see if he can get himself up there to be with the big boys. He's had a bit of an issue this season with trying to get himself some solid points positions. He's not always finished the races either, whether it be down to an issue that he's caused or whether he's just been tied up in one that's easy to work out. But here we go then, final corner to the line, and it's not going to be enough. He is slightly faster, but he doesn't move anywhere.
Yeah, I've just seen somebody on his hot lap, big lock up into that middle chicane. He's coming now into this very slow section after the second DRS zone. Looks very, very quick, but is it going to be enough to make up for that early mistake? He is flying as Kagan retires.
Is he crashed? I think he's... yeah, he has. He's crashed.
Yeah, exit of turn 1.
How do you do that in qualifying?
There's a lot of runoff there, isn't there?
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd have to... Unless his game crashed, maybe? That's the only thing I can think of. But I just don't get it.
Back into the pits. He's got one more shot to go. Not happy with this final attempt, so he'll go for another.
Yeah, 5 minutes is not a lot of time when you can think about it, especially if you're still trying to work out what sort of tyres you're going to go on to. Again, softs are not the worst tyre to go on, but if you can qualify on the mediums, fantastic. You can choose whatever strategy you want to go on. If you want to go medium softs, go for it. If you need to two-stop, I'm not sure if this is a track where a two-stop is even an option here. I think a one-stop is pretty much the only solution here. I think it's just how you manage your softs, especially in Sector 1. Other than that, it's hard braking zones and just simple 90-degree corners. I don't think there's going to be that many issues.
Yeah, managing temps will certainly be a big concern. There's a lot of corners that require a quite pointy car, require a little bit of oversteer, and that might negatively affect them in the long run. There's a copy coming through the final sector, very close in front of Danico, so those two clearly working together, working to get themselves up the board. Final two corners for Copy now, getting really wide on that exit into the final corner. Car nice and pointy over the curb. Maybe a bit too much curb, but it's enough for P5 and Danico into the pits.
Yep, it is indeed. Ulyss has invalidated this lap, so he, despite the fact that he's invalidated, he's still pushing. Whether or not it's just a game glitch and he looks like he's invalidated, or whether he's actually just pushing to get back as quick as he can, he's really throwing the car around there.
Yeah, I mean, not using ERS, but yeah, still clearly pushing. He's cutting it very fine, I think. He'll probably make it, but he does have to be very quick. 1 minute 30, let's say 1 minute 40 for our argument's sake on the out lap. It's around a minute if you're lucky to get in and out.
Well, it is that time. It is the calm before the storm, as all of the drivers, bar 2 of them, are now in the pits, prepping themselves for that final push, working out how they're going to attack this circuit and work out the areas that they need to work on more. So is it the Sector 1 where they're making mistakes, Sector 2 or Sector 3? Maybe it's even down to one corner. It could even be the same corner that Copy's just gone through, that awkward chicane like I keep complaining about. It's the one I struggle on the most when it comes to this circuit. Every time I hit that corner, I always seem to hit wrong and just cannot get the line through there at all.
Yeah, Copy seems to be driving pretty cautiously on the tyres, but he seems to be in a little bit of a rush. He might be going for another attempt here. I doubt it, but I think something in the back of my mind telling me that he might be going for another one.
His red fuel warning light is on.
No, yeah,
Maybe he might be done. Yeah, he's done. That's the end of his qualifying then. So P5 is the best he's going to get with a 133.996.
Big slipstream from Yonti now, going onto the back straight. Probably finished that one a bit earlier than they would have wanted to, as Pika now on his outlap will get the tow next lap. Very, very close between those two Haas drivers. Not in terms of standings, but in terms of rear wing and front wing, they're going into that chicane.
Yeah.
But
do you think Yonti's got it to get on the top? I mean, he's very close to P2.
He's improving right now, but he's not a purple first sector. But we'll see. This is the hard part of the lap. Lots of precision required.
He's looking smooth. Oh, he actually
Yeah,
carried a
very
lot
smooth.
more momentum there than I thought you could. I didn't realize you could carry that much. He made that look so easy. Wow, I just learned
very
something.
easy to lock those rears up there, and yeah, great job by him.
Final corner then. Is this lap time going to be sufficient? Is it going to be a new top contender? It is not.
Oh,
it is
wow,
slightly
surprised.
slower.
That looked really, really good. And some idiot now coming into the DRS zone. Nobody to work with this time, but still a very respectable position, and the Alfa Romeo drivers not working together either, which I'm quite surprised at, to be honest. They're usually quite good for that.
Yeah. Wondering why. But Hugo's is going to be the next one then to actually set a time on the board. Whether it's going to be a good one or not is currently being determined. He has set a purple sector 2 according to my track map on the right. So if that is to be believed, then Hugo's may actually just suddenly shine.
Hugo's is being caught pretty quickly by some idiot, I would say. So this is a pretty special time from some idiot. Though it says he's only 1/10 up after two sectors. So he's got it all to do. But yeah, back to Hugo's last two corners. Very well done. Through that penultimate one, and now the final corner gets the car turned in very nicely. A little bit of kick on the exit, and it is P2. Some idiot P1. Wow, 1,000th of a second. Now Mizzo,
Jesus.
it's all on Mizzo. He's 6,000ths up right now at the end of Sector 1. He's about halfway through Sector 2. It's all on him right now. I've never seen it this close before.
But that's the thing. It's literally a 6,000th improvement, but that's enough currently. That's just how tight it is.
5,000 more than some idiot, exactly. So that's absolutely brilliant. And an invalidation looks like the only thing that can stop Mizzo right now. He's on a really good lap.
Yeah. Gunter's retired. He's had enough then, so P5 is the best he can achieve. Beaker did cross the line as well. He's staying P8 as well, unless Fragioko and Dennis can improve. They are coming to the final corner now. Fragioko crosses the line. He does a P10, and Dennis will stay where he is. But where is Mizzo? Can Mizzo make it?
Final corner. Very nice. Shifting just on the apex.
Oh,
Get that maximum.
wow.
Destroys it. Brilliant.
Well
Great lap.
played. And Eulers can't improve, so he's going to stay P4, and that's it. Hugo's has done his lap, unless he's going to try again, which he's not. So that's it then. Mizzo snatching it at the very last second. Some idiot looked like he was potentially going to take pole position by 1,000th of a second. And then he gets beaten by a pretty large margin there, 3/10 and a little bit more.
Mizzo looking really, really good. Really good. Just wonder what Hypers would have been able to achieve, though, had he have been able to get a couple of good laps in.
To be honest, I'm glad he's not, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's not, because now we get to see an overtaking masterclass. Now, Hypers has got a ridiculous amount of pace. We know this. Everybody knows this. But I've not actually seen him need to pass people that often. When I have seen him, he's quite a desperate driver when it comes to overtakes. I haven't seen him do that in quite a while though. So I'd like to see that he's learned. I'd like to see that he's able to bring it with him today onto the circuit and start to work his way from last to first. I guess we'll have to wait and see, as the qualifying rundown is as follows. Mizzo in pole position with a 133.416 with some idiot 3/10 behind in P2. Closely behind him is Hugo's in P3, which I wasn't actually expecting him to be there, I'll be truthfully honest. Eulis in P4, Yonti P5, Copy P6, Danico P7, Beaker P8, Spicy P9, Fragioco rounds out the top 10 with JC getting best of the rest. With Dennis in P12, Kagan P13, Hypers, who obviously was either qualibanned or just didn't want to set a time. And then we do have Yepany as well here as well. Remember that. Bear that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, not a big loss for Yepany. He's never historically done anything really of note in qualifying. He's all about the race pace. Just not sure he's going to be able to pick a setup for the race now, which might be a huge disadvantage.
All right, here we are then. The drivers are in their grid boxes ready to go. They're just currently working out the strategy as to what they're going to be taking onto the tyre strategies, or whether they're going to be going into an overfuel, underfuel, or just on the par fuel when it comes into this race. I think this is a race where you want to overfuel by quite a bit. I probably want to say like 3 laps overfuel just because of how many straights there are, and that bit of extra engine mix will really help when it comes to just storming down the back straight, storming down the second DRS straight, and hopefully securing some positions.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that Hypers can overtake, can he? He's always at the front, right?
He's Sebastian Vettel back in Red Bull days where he wasn't able to physically overtake. The only way he won races is if he was at the front. Ooh, let's start some drama. But Yepany here then in the Williams car in P15 has decided that he is going to be the only person outside of the top 10 who's going to start on softs.
Interesting call. Track position obviously means a lot to him. Yepany is always someone that's done something different on strategy. Yeah.
Go on then, I'll let you give me it. Let's
Your
have
prediction. It. All right then. Okay. So,
1, 2, 3.
I think it's the 1, 2, 3 we've got right now. I would say
Oh,
some
really?
idiot in the race, but I can't ignore that 3:10 gap in qualifying. I think
Yeah.
what we've got right now would be probably likely to finish the same way.
So I'm not going to do that. I think somebody will win this. I think he's going to do this extension of the softs that like he usually does, take them a little bit further than other people tend to do. Go on to the mediums. He's going to go for that one-stop strategy, take them all the way to the end, and just have a really good time of it. P2, I think, will be Mizzo. P3, I'm going to go with Yonti. But I think Hypers does have the skill to get himself into that podium position. I've got a feeling he's going to get himself a few penalties.
He's got drivers like Kagan, Dennis, Fragioco, Spicy, Beaker to pass. People that aren't going to give him an inch.
No. And their elbows will be very much extended. And any handbags that need to be thrown will be thrown.
Absolutely. So, yeah, and the only 2 real overtaking opportunities are into those chicanes from the DRS zones. I think we'll see a fair bit of moving under braking here.
Well, yeah, for sure, for sure. We'll see how they defend as we get into this race. It's 28 laps around the Abu Dhabi circuit here. It's an interesting circuit, to say the least. Not always a fan favourite, but it always ends our seasons, or at least it has done for a little while now. Mizzo then will be the one to lead us away and hopefully get a perfect start in towards turn 1, because he's going to need it. Somebody will have the inside line. We do not want to surrender that going into turn 1 here.
Yeah, Dennis and Kagan invalidated from that formation lap, so those tyres are going to be ice cold, so we could expect a bit of action from them. But here we go, 5 lights. And they're out. And it's a good start from Mizzo. And it's a slightly better start, I would say, from some idiot. He's got his wing there. And into the inside for turn 1. Mizzo comes across. No action there. But a big slide from Ulas. And that is a big crash. And a VSC. Straight away, VSC. Spicy 5-second time penalty.
Oh my lord.
Dennis rejoining almost took out Yepany.
There was 5 people got penalties there.
That was insane. Yeah, Ulas, I think, went too wide himself, also pushed Yonti off the track, but then got super loose on that curb. Thought he'd saved it, hadn't saved it, snaps back into the path of the oncoming cars, and yeah, absolute chaos.
Yeah, Beaker, as always, seems to... Oh, we've had another crash. Another crash. Somebody else has just lost wing.
They expected that, yeah. We've gone straight back into...
Four-way going in towards the hairpin. No, this cannot work out, surely. Although it has, so Hypers is up.
Hyper's off the track, though. He might have to give that position back. No, it doesn't look like he does. Just chilling, though, is going to get that slipstream. He's going to go to the outside. Is he going to get him under braking? He's certainly going to try. And no, he does not. He has to cut. No penalty. Maybe a warning there. And Yepany into P9 as well. So that soft strap playing out wonders for him.
Yeah, and I think he's actually, he has. He's completely managed to avoid any damage on his car as well. So whilst there are people around him, Just Chilling, for example, has a damaged left wing. I think Fragioko has also a damaged left wing. And you get further back, and everyone else is in. Would it be a normal stream without my network falling on its backside?
Absolutely not. So Just Chilling now onto the hard tyre along with Kagan. Those two with aspirations of going to the end of this race. Spicy Beaker, Ulas on the medium, and Dennis makes up some positions as Ulas goes for the inside into the chicane. Beaker, as I said, he's moving across, but Ulas...
Can you invite me again, please?
Ulas gets one hell of a drive out of that corner, and I will send you an invite, of course. Oh, I can't, I don't think.
When you right-click on my name, invite to lobby.
Ah, okay.
Apparently. I was mind blown when I was shown this as well.
Invite to watch?
Invite to lobby?
No. Where's this, sorry?
When you're on Steam, when you right click on my name, you should say...
No, it's only invite to watch.
Sad man.
That is, I did send you a backup invite though.
You did, I clicked it and then my game went, no.
PogChamp. Right, that's awkward.
That's alright, I'll ping the peeps.
Okay. And Yonti into the pits. No, he's not debated. No, he is into the pits, yeah.
Double
So Yonti down in P9 now. I'm not sure what happened there, but he is onto the mediums. DRS is enabled, but if the interval is to be believed, 1.1 seconds is the gap between Mizzo and some idiot, and 1.1 seconds is the gap behind. So these guys not in a DRS train as such. They are working separately and independently. And Mizzo looks like he is pulling out that gap further and further. Some idiot looks like he's in real trouble. And this is going to be good news, I think, for Hypers. He's not going to have this group dragging itself along. They're going to be pretty easy pickings, I would say, apart from maybe the two Renaults who seem similar on pace. Yepany 1.5 down from Hypers, and he has a little kiss on the wall there. And he fell asleep behind the wheel.
So I got an invite, and when I started loading it, I'm now just sat on a dodgy black screen.
Nice, okay. Ulas with a 3-second time penalty. And I think this is going to be a feature of the race as well, with the big curves and big runoff areas. It's going to encourage a little bit of corner cutting. But I think that's something that some idiot especially is very good at avoiding. He does not get penalties. Mizzo as well, but I think to a slightly lesser extent. But yeah, it's all spreading out. Everyone apart from the two Renaults a second away from each other. Got a little bit of a fight down at the back now. Dennis and Beaker. Dennis down the inside, holds his line, as does Beaker. Beaker gets the better run out of the corner with that outside line. Now turn 2 and turn 3, and as you said, it's Oversteer City and it's Dennis. Dennis is the victim. He has had a big slide, he caught it, had another big slide, caught that, and then had a third big slide, and that was enough. Stayed out the wall, though.
Oh.
No, he's not gone. He stayed out the wall, but he is now back to P15, aka last position, with some pretty spicy tires. I mean, I'm no Ben McConnell with his X-ray vision, but I'm seeing 3 digits there.
I am trying.
Okay, that's no problem. Danico looks pretty comfortable right now, sitting behind his teammate. 100 ERS, I just saw there, 100%. So that is a pretty good indicator that he is cruising slightly, trying to nurse those tires a bit further than the rest of the guys. But yeah, Hugo's and Samidia both dropping back from the drivers in front of them at the same kind of rate. So Mizzo's really doing a great job here. Remember, he's back. The man himself.
Back.
The man, the myth, the legend.
I'm just loading in now.
And Copy now has DRS. No, he doesn't have DRS, but he is within a second of Hugo's. So for this next straight, he will certainly have the DRS. And that will be good news for both the Renault drivers. We're desperately trying to work together to fend off the threat of Veloce Hypers, who is closing and closing and closing. It's now 2.9 seconds between those two.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if the Renault boys are going to work together to try and just pull away from Hypers, or at least try and help defend against him. As both of them lock up actually coming into that chicane, both left side struggling.
It's the same person, yeah. There's no hope in outrunning Veloce Hypers. You can run, but you cannot hide.
It's true.
Wait, no, that's... Yeah, that does make sense, yes. It's just, let's stop and think about that. But yeah, I think their only hope is using each other's DRS to just make it awkward for him to pass.
JC and Beaker having a little scrap here. Beaker managed to overtake during the DRS, and now it's going to be a return favour here with Just Chilling chasing down Beaker. They are on different tyre compounds, 3 laps in for both of them, and JC's going to take the outside. We saw what this looked like when he tried to do it on Hypers. It didn't work out last time. Is it going to work out this time? A slight bit of a lock up on the left-hand side, but he's still fighting. A little bit of a touch and go there, and I think Beaker is going to take that position. He's back into P12, and JC will just have to filter in behind for a bit.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised. 5 laps, and Mizzo's in. Danico as well. I think this may be one of those cases where we see a sub-immediate tyre stretch, so maybe lap 10, should we say, optimistically, and then tries to one-stop it, because realistically, I don't see how Mizzo and Danico are going to be able to one-stop that.
No,
that's
it's
22
just too much.
22 laps. I don't see that happening.
Well, this kind of goes back to what I was saying about why I think somebody's going to take this win. Is purely down to the fact he's going to try that strategy where he takes those softs longer than anyone else does on the circuit, then jump onto the mediums, go for that one-stop strategy that pretty much everyone's going to try anyway, and then just cruise on to take the 25 points.
Yeah, 3-second time penalty there for Hugo's. That's not good news for him. And Copy seems to have dropped back by around 7/10. So something's happened there in the space of a lap. It's no longer in the DRS.
Yep. Mizzo and Danico, I think, have made a huge mistake by pitting when they did. This is not exactly the ideal scenario for pitting. I think the only time you'd want to pit now is if your wing's damaged, really. That's the only time you go, okay, fine, I'll do it. Even then, like JC, for example, he chose obviously a little bit earlier to go on the hards, but that's because there was no way for sure he was going to make the mediums go to the end. But even then, it's now a point here where you go, can I actually get mediums that far? Here comes Copy into the pits.
As I expected, Samidia and Hugo's staying out. Copy into the pits though, yeah, it looks like the 2 stops on for those two. 2 Renaults, I mean. Well, we'll have to see it. I mean, obviously a split in strategy makes for better viewing for us, so I'm happy it's happened.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just don't think it's the right call.
Well, Mizzo back into P5, working his way forwards, but he does have a 7.3 second gap to P4. And in terms of net position, there's no doubt he is still net P1. It's just, at what point does Samidia take over? Because he will take over, based on the tyre strategy alone. He will have so much more pace for longer. It's just, how does Mizzo get out of this? Can he actually take the tyres far enough? I'm not confident.
Yeah, there's no way in my mind. I mean, I could be wrong. It's known to have happened. But I don't see it. There's no way he can take those tyres to the end.
I'd like to be proven wrong. That would be amazing. If he could actually just drag them all the way out, and again, the Renault boys are back to scrapping, and now Yonsi's involved in this fight as well. He will have DRS just about. He won't be able to attack just yet, but he will be in a position where in about a lap or two, he should be right on the gearbox of this Renault. Maybe even go for a little send-it move coming into the hairpin.
Yeah, I think one thing is clear, those tyres are certainly past their best though. I'm seeing some idiot struggling to get that car slowed down. He's not locking up or anything, but just a lot slower than before. And there's Hugo's in as well. So some idiot the Lone Ranger, we might see Yepany. Yeah, Yepany does stay out, so Yepany still on that initial strategy of a one-stop, I think. And it's a good call. I think it is a good call if they can just keep composed, not make any stabs at the accelerator out of the slow speed corners, as Mizzo says, the fastest lap of the race, which is kind of proving his point that he thinks he's on the right strategy.
Yepany is actually really in a good position right now. He's claimed all the way up to P3. He's only 8 seconds away from race leader. On the same strategy as him as well, so when he goes into the mediums, he will pretty much come out where he was, relatively speaking. But I think this is actually going to be really good. I think Yepany has actually suddenly become a potential podium contender.
I think that might be a bit of a stretch given the gap already, but yeah, at top 5 certainly he's going to gain a lot.
Well, Hugo's.
Whether he can keep these tyres.
Oh, it's going to be a hard one. No,
right.
He's actually alright. I thought they were going to be alongside of each other coming into the hard braking zone, but now Hugo's manages to get the move done and up to P5.
Danico's chance now. Coming back under the DRS, he switches to overtake, and yep, like he's not even there. Into this braking zone around the outside, and he's already cleared him, but he locks up his brakes. Gives Hugo's a chance, but Danico gets into the corner enough to block him off and to discourage any attempts at that P5.
But it's now a four-way battle for this P5 as well. You know, Yonti's still here too. Hugo's been dragged into it following that pit stop, and you know what was looking good for Hugo's is suddenly looking pretty bad.
Yepany in, so 8 laps is all he could do. Some idiot's going to take it at least 9. I suspect he'll try and make it around 10. I think that gives him 18 on the mediums, which I would say is doable. And ooh, Hyper's getting very aggressive over those curbs on the exit of turn 2.
That gap is not really reducing, is it? I mean, it is. It just dropped a little bit there, but it's been sat around 400 bit seconds for a little while now.
Yeah, I don't think either of these guys are pushing too hard. Hyper's ERS is always the highest in the field, really, isn't it? But
yeah,
it doesn't look like he's giving it everything. I think he's in it for the long haul, because don't forget, he's got to also stretch his stint out to around lap 17, 18, and that might not be possible if you're flat out 100% of the time.
Now this is interesting. Hugo's was absolutely in range to pass Danico down this straight, but he's decided to wait. He's decided, rather than go for it here, he's going to wait for the second DRS zone, and now look, he's in mode 4, but he didn't get the exit he needed, and he's already in trouble. Danico is starting to pull a nice sizable gap, and Hugo's has realized, I should have took the opportunity whilst I had it, because Copy's right here on my backside now, and if the Renault team decide that they want to work together, I'm going to be left out to dry.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant call by the Renaults to bring their drivers in slightly earlier than Hugo's, get themselves that undercut, and ultimately get track position. He's sandwiched between the two Renaults, and like you said, they are not going to be helping the McLaren out whatsoever. But in the meantime, Samidi and Hyper's both picking up penalties, which gives a bit of hope for Mizzo down in P3.
I believe Hypers has also got a 5-second penalty for the collision that happened on lap 1. So bear that in mind, that might be a factor later, but that should be removed at the point of when he goes to the pits. So he'll save that, he will lose time there, he just will actually drop back a little bit further. And again, this is allowing other people to slot into that podium position, and Hypers, who already had a last to first to do anyway, if you exclude Yepany, he's now going to have to do last to wherever he's got to, back a bit, and then back up again.
Yeah, these tyres on some idiot's car absolutely past their best. He's lost 2 seconds that last lap. So I think it will be the lap he comes in.
Well, here comes Hugo's again. This time it's going to be Danico giving a bit of a weave there. Not too bad. Hugo's
once again choosing not to take it on the first straight, hoping he gets a decent exit. He does. Danico gets a bit of a slide on. This is the chance for Hugo's. He's got to make this stick, and he's got to really try and pull away as much as he can in this 90-degree corner section. As Dennis is out of the session, that is in the pits. No problem. Yeah.
It's sad,
Hugo's past.
but it's understandable.
Yeah, I get it. He didn't have a good setup under him, that's for sure. You shouldn't be sliding at this level through turns 2 and 3. And Dennis out of the session as well, breaking one of his own rules there.
Qualivan.
Qualivan, absolutely. And Hyper's in as well. Hyper's on the medium, pits after 10 laps, as well as some idiots. So they're absolutely equal on race strategy right now. Hyper's with that 5-second penalty. Is going to exit later. And yeah, both onto the mediums.
Now,
so Hyper's committing to a 2-stop. Some idiot with hopes of a 1-stop. We'll see whether they can make it. I think he can. But both drivers with some work to do. Got some cars to pass and a big queue he's going to be coming up to very shortly. I'll be interested to see how some idiot manages to navigate this. Hugo's had a really tough time, let's be honest, and he's not out of the water yet. Well, actually, he might be. I don't think Danico's going to have that DRS. So yeah, Hugo's is out of the water, but it took him about 3 or 4 laps to actually nail it. So I just wonder how some idiot's going to approach this.
Hypers is surely going to get DQ'd here. Like, or at least he's going to lose out a lot, because there's no way this works. Mediums, softs is surely the only strategy he's going to go for here, but why would you 2-stop this? I mean, you got medium, softs if you're going to do a 2-stop, surely.
Not sure. It was 5 laps.
Oh,
5
my
laps
bad. Yonti is chasing Copy though, and he's starting to fall away a little bit. He is 7/10. Copy is in a similar position. He's also dropping back to Danico, but Danico, like you said, has already lost the DRS to Hugo's. He is kind of teetering on that limit, but Samidius in a second, he's going to be there. He's going to be ready to pounce. As his mediums are starting to come to the end of the first lap, they'll be warm enough now for him to actually start to get into the DRS, start to get into the toe, start to go for an overtake, and maybe even get himself back up into P3 by the end of, what, next 3-4 laps?
Yeah. It's worth noting that somebody ran his battery into the ground on that first stint, and I think he will take a few laps just to bring that back up to the level it kind of needs to be. Then maybe try and break away and push that gap out. But at the moment, yeah, it looks like it's Mizzo's race to lose, maybe.
Well, it's either Mizzo's race to lose or it's Mizzo's tyres to pop.
Yeah, I think he's going for the 2-stop. That would make sense to me. And he just needs to keep on chucking down some serious pace, and he needs for some idiot to get kind of bogged down in this traffic.
Alright. Some idiot working his way closer has decided mode 0 right now because he knows there's no real overtaking opportunity, and he is running a little bit low when it comes to ERS management. So he's going to have to try and figure out how to close that up whilst also closing in. Oh, we've had is that a Kagan? Kagan, yeah, Kagan's had an off. That is in the crucial area.
Yeah, that's Oversteer City. Claims another victim.
I think retirement is on the cards here. Well, he's
tell
cut
me about
that
those tyre
massively.
temps, Ben. And that's 10 seconds, yep, absolutely.
Well, he has brought them back down again. His front right is over 100 degrees, but it is bringing it back. He was sat on the circuit for a little while before he started moving again. So I get the impression here he's about to end his own race, or at least he's going to just try and get back to the pits as quick as possible. I don't think he cares about. Yeah, he doesn't care. He's done.
Yeah, that's a shame.
It is, but I mean it's understandable. When you're that far back and you got that sort of scenario going on, then yeah, surely it's it's time to just call it. He's had enough. You can see with the amount of penalties he's getting anyway that even if he decided to carry on, his race is absolutely done. Some idiot closing in on Yonti, working his way closer and closer to this big battle here for effectively P3. Oh, we had a little look down the inside. He's actually forced Yonti to go wide by scaring him there. Scare tactics definitely working for some idiot. Toe is available to him. DRS is available too. So has Yonti. And this is only going to help some idiot even more as he's just going to charge on through. Or is he? That little wobble there seems to slow him down.
So it looks like Ulas going for the medium soft, I would assume, because he's coming after... No, was he caught up? Yeah, no, he was caught up in the first corner incident, wasn't he? So, yeah, I'm not sure what strategy he's doing. He's definitely going to have to pit again. So, maybe soft, mediums?
I've been told that soft mediums is the alpha strategy here, but I just can't see how. Like, the softs can do sort of 6 or 7 laps quite comfortably. The mediums will do more than enough for you to be able to have 12 laps remaining. I just don't get why you would do what these guys are doing. I mean, Hypers, he's obviously someone who knows this stuff, so you've got to have trust in him when he makes these decisions. I just wonder if it was actually a decision he made or if it was a decision the game made.
No, I think it's absolutely his call. He's too experienced to make an error like that. Yeah, I think
Beaker's about to retire
mediums,
as well.
and a final soft stint would be probably doable. It'd be pretty competitive. I'm not sure how competitive it would be compared to what somebody is trying to do here.
Yeah, pretty sure Beaker has had enough as well. He has had around about 20 seconds worth of penalties, and he's just added some more. He is about to retire, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Not a track that a lot of people enjoy. You know, you can kind of understand that and sympathise with that. But
Yeah.
Credit, I think, to the guys that are trying to stick it out and trying to give it their all. As some idiot down the inside manages to clear Danico, and he's all importantly going to have that DRS from Copy, so Danico won't really have a chance to respond. But yeah, some idiot showing no desire to hang back and take a bit of time to recharge.
I mean, somebody is driving a masterclass of racing here. His ERS management is sufficient to keep him in like, around about 30% every lap. He's also sitting on the back of these guys quite frequently. This is looking really good from his perspective. He's pretty much already guaranteed a podium position here. And like I said before, he's the guy who will try the one-stop strategy, go from softs to mediums, take the softs that bit further, and then chuck on the mediums to go to the end of the race. It's just the fact that everybody else seems to be looking for a two-stop. It's now a question of, rather than can they do it, it's more a question, can he do it?
Yellow flags in sector 1 and sector 2. I think that's Beaker's car that's coming out of the pits and all the way to the end of sector 1 as Yonti into the pits after 12 laps on those mediums. So yeah, it does look like a two-stop is the preferred choice by these drivers. And pit crew aren't ready at Haas.
Interesting. I wonder if he told him he was coming in.
That's Beaker coming to the pits and retiring.
Yonti's stuck.
Yeah,
Oh no, he's not.
Pit crew didn't come out of Haas, and yeah, that'll happen.
Well, somebody's going to fire one on Copy again then. DRS and Toe, look at the pace difference. That is just night and day on how different their pace was. He comes into it, and he's already in P3, but Copy will have a chance to come back. I don't think he will actually do it.
He doesn't get the exit. No, he doesn't get the exit at all. He's not going to get a chance. He's going to try and give it his all, overtake all the way, but some idiot, I think comfortably, has P3 under his belt now. And a huge lock-up by Copy isn't going to help him.
Eulis has gone off as well. He's lost his left end plate.
That is Oversteer City claiming another life.
Interesting. This is a very odd race. A very odd race. We've got... Yep, there's another retirement. So we've had 4 retirements. We are over halfway now. If we carry on at this rate, everybody who finishes will have points. We only need one more to go, and then we've had everybody finish, will have points.
Yeah, and I see that happening as well. But yeah, somebody has done what he needs to do. He's cleared all that traffic. He's got Hugo's up. I think Hugo's will be in by the time that some idiot gets to him. Also Mizzo as well. I mean, judging by what I've been seeing, it's around lap 11 or 12 these guys hit for fresh rubber. Spicy pushing it that little bit extra. So I think some idiot won't actually have a chance to have a go at Hugo's on track unless there's some serious pace difference.
Hypers has actually not been as fast as I expected him to be, truthfully. I mean, he is on fresher tyres than all of those ahead of him, except for some idiot. Obviously, they pit at the same time. I just don't understand what's going wrong for him. He almost goes into Yep, and he's gone deep now into the chicane, and that's compromised his exit quite drastically. You can see the time jumps up to 7/10. He will still have DRS, but nothing he can gain from this now.
Yeah, Hyper's in a tough spot as well. This group coming up, it's going to take him I would say, at least 5 laps to clear all these drivers. By then, he's going to need to pit again.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's. I'm monitoring this Renault situation. Danico seems to be faster than Copy, mainly because Copy keeps making mistakes, but he seems to make mistakes in the areas where overtaking is really difficult anyway. I mean, Yepeni's here as well, but just nothing's changed.
They're trying to overtake each other either, though. They seem to be perfectly comfortable just racing in tandem. I mean, they're in a good position right now, 4th and 5th. Pit stop still to come. They could maybe snatch something if there's a mistake somewhere in the line, but yeah, they're in a good position, and why would they risk that by racing side by side, I guess?
I'm just curious as to why Hypers hasn't been... Oh no, that's not how you overtake Hypers. You don't just push. That is a mistake and a half.
And is there any damage? No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like Hypers got away with that, but Yepeny certainly didn't.
No.
Lost 2.5 seconds, and well, that's a shame. I'd be inclined to give that back if that was me that did that, but there we go.
Hypers might get a little bit of a telling off at the end of this race, although it's not going to make any real difference. Danico is going for a move on Copy then. He finally decided I've had enough. Whether, again, that was them being in cahoots with each other, or whether or not it was just Danico going for a move or not. Who knows? Only they will know. But we do know that Hypers is still stuck P6.
Very, very close behind Copy now as well. I think he might have a go. He's already in overtake. I think he's going to have a go here. No, backs out. Copy covers off the inside as he should and as he has a right to. And this time, Hypers decides not to kill the driver in front of him. Copy spared the executioner's axe, as you should say.
Yeah, Hypers did it in the ballroom with a candlestick.
Yeah. Also worth noting that Danico is on a lap older tyre, so he may well pit before Copy, unless there's a big slide or something, as Mizzo into the pits and out of the pits. Now into the tunnel. He is down in P7. He's not going to gain anything back. P7 is where you're going to end up if you're trying this 2-stop. Obviously, drivers in front yet to pit. But I think this is looking pretty good for Samidia.
Yep.
I have to say, it is looking really good for Samidia. 10 laps to go. He's looking at around a 12-second lead from Mizzo. We'll see it once he clears Hugo's. It's a gap to leader here.
We do have a little drag race going on between Copy and Hypers. Copy clearly has less error. Hypers having a very late braking session going into it. He did actually hit Copy in the hairpin to come onto that straight, which did destabilize him a little bit, did compromise his speed, so big problem for him there. Somebody has got past Hugo's now. Copy probably won't be able to attack Hypers here. I think it's just too short a run. He almost goes into him, actually.
Yeah, Hypers just seems to have so much more grip. It's very interesting, that.
Hypers does not seem to be driving like Hypers normally drives. This seems to be a no things given.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. It's not a good attitude to have, I would say. Especially when it's affecting the drivers around you, in the instance of Yepeny. But yeah, we'll see. As Danico decides not to get killed and decides to pit.
I've seen this. I don't want to be another one.
Yeah, I know how this story ends. But yeah, some idiot. So now, if we look at gap to leader, we can get a better picture of how the strategy is playing out. And
it's favouring.
It's 9 seconds. So it's tough. 9 seconds. We've got 9 laps. It's a second a lap. We'll have to keep an eye on the gap, and that all rhymed.
Did, and I'm impressed.
That was really good. Yeah.
I will be impressed with Mizzo if he can do it, but that is a massive ask. 9 seconds. I mean, even doing that on softs would be very difficult. Him doing on mediums, which is the same tire as what Samidia and Hypers are on, I think Samidia has actually chosen the right strategy here.
Yeah, I think it's a case of Mexico all over again.
Yeah.
We'll see though. We'll see. It's a long stint yet to go. He's approaching that sort of area of the tyres where drivers usually pit, and he's got to extend that by 8 laps. That's almost double what you need to be doing, what the game recommends you do. So potential for a puncture. He's definitely going to be very, very slow towards the end of this stint. We'll see.
We shall see, indeed. Yonti down in P8, 2 seconds off of Yepany, who did have a punt from Hypers, has already pit and gone on to the softs. Now, this is where the question marks are. We know that the softs are not very good here. They do disintegrate very, very, very quickly, which is why we've seen people jump off them as soon as they could. It's not impossible. You can definitely do 9 laps on those softs, so definitely keep him still counted in here. Just whether or not he's actually going to be able to manage the tyres, especially through the first sector. I keep saying it because we've already seen a number of drivers already lose it there and go out of this race.
Okay, yeah, Mizzo's going to win this race. I'm looking the gap, unless there's some Pastor Maldonado-esque defending by some idiot, or Porsche Hypers for that matter, but I think Hypers will still pit. No, Hypers still has to pit, doesn't he? So it
yes,
is a straight fight, but 7.7 seconds. This point last lap it was 9.1. And some of these tyres are only going to get worse. I think Mizzo's got this.
I don't know. I think the pace will drop off before he gets close, before he gets near him.
But I think it's also going to drop off similar, if not harder, than Mizzo's tyres by some idiot.
See, the bit that confuses me is I don't understand how their tyre wear is that bad. Like, there's no real high downforce areas. I mean, other than obviously the first sector, maybe that chicane at the end of the second. I guess there's a double right-hander here, but even then, it's not really that big a turn.
It is also, you know, a desert, but...
Well, yeah. The temperatures are probably the bit that melts them more than anything, I guess.
I would suggest so, yeah. Especially with the way you see drivers losing it through Sector 1, I think tyre times are pretty high, which contributes to the wear. 6.3, 6.2 now the gap between Mizzo and Sardinia.
I mean, he's on par if he can continue as is. I just think that by the time he gets close to some idiot, I think the pace will just level out.
I don't agree with you. I think Mizzo's got this. I think we're going to have one of those disagreements again where you end up losing and you have to admit that Mizzo had the best strategy.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think we need to have that because Mizzo has done very well, and I think overall, usually, I would say that is the best strategy. I agree. I think the two-stop here does seem to be, and I'm obviously woke as of this race, but I do think that Samidia is somebody who, if anybody can make the one-stop work, it's him. He is the one to take the softs way further than most people actually go, and still manage to keep the pace pretty consistent. And then he goes on to the mediums, and then he is just continuously doing laps. You know, we also saw, if you remember, in Mexico, where Hypers tried an alternative strategy. It did closing very quickly, and then it just shut down. It didn't work out at all.
It's a fair comment, but I just think it's somebody essentially is double stinting these tyres compared to other drivers, and I just don't think that's doable around here. If you look at the tyre weight, it was 10 laps that somebody got rid of the softs, 5 when Mizzo got rid of the softs. He's having to run these mediums. 18 laps, Mizzo's only ran his maximum of, I think, 11 was the most he did, as Hypers comes in for his softs or hards, but, you know, it has to be softs realistically, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what the Mercedes boys are bringing out.
Watch the timing boards light up though when he gets on these softs. He's going to be very fast.
I would be very, very concerned if I was the likes of Danico, Yepany, Copy. Yepany actually has jumped Copy now, somehow. Despite that incident between him and Hypers, he's managed to get back amongst the Renault boys. And he looks a pretty good bet to be passing Danico now.
Hypers comes out of the pits and actually managed to just sneak ahead of Copy, actually. So this is a good start already. He doesn't have to worry about one of the drivers. Copy also doesn't have to worry about his rear backside getting hit. And now 1.7, 1.3 is the gap to him and Yepany, and it is starting to close down.
Now, if I was Yepany, hypothetically, I'm not. I think you know what I'm going to say right now.
Yes, I do.
I would
something in the order of revenge.
Under no circumstances let that boy pass. Absolutely no way.
Here's my bus and I am parking it.
Absolutely. I'm moving into braking. I'm doing every dirty trick I can possibly bring up without making contact, or even making a little bit of contact to prevent that Mercedes from getting past. But 3.5 seconds gap between Mizzo and Samidia.
Copy's still hanging in there, but he's only just hanging in there. Hypers is in a similar boat to Yepany. He's brought that gap down, and it's still coming down, but the quicker that Hypers pulls away, the worse it is for Copy. He needs to dump everything here just to stay in the DRS of these guys so that he doesn't fall apart when all the overtakes start to happen. And yeah, Yepany is having PTSD right now as Hypers is coming.
Yes, absolutely. But, you know, like I said, I don't think Yepany's going to make it very easy at all for Hypers, and that could present an opportunity for Copy to maybe sneak past these guys, or at least maintain that DRS gap.
Oh, we've seen this before.
Yep, Vietnam flashbacks intensifying.
You weren't there, man. You don't know what it's like.
You don't know what I saw.
I think Hypers is going to get this overtake. Probably not getting on the first one. I think he's going to be more reliant on later braking and a better exit out of the chicane. Danico's also under attack as well, as Yepany's going deep in towards it. He's going to have to take the inside. Danico's going to lose out 2 places, I think.
This is a very good chance for Hypers. I think he could get a good exit. He does get a good exit, but he's boxed in. Yepany's not going to give him any room at all, but it might not be his choice. Yepany, no DRS. Danico and Hypers with the DRS. It's 3 wide and down the middle. That's not going to work, surely. And as I said, Yepany not giving him room and pushing him off the track. There we go. Don't take it to the steward's office. Fight it out on track. Hypers now around the outside. This is a very brave move. He's going to maybe try and cut it into the inside. No, thinks better of it. And I don't think we're going to see a pass in this section of track. 2.3 the gap between the leaders.
That was a very where's Palmer moment between the two drivers. I think it's not over yet. That's the main thing. You know, this is gonna go. I think someone's gonna get murdered. I just can't work out who. I mean, Hypers has been the elbowy one. He's been the one punching and screaming as he's going past people. He's trying to do the last to first, very desperate. And again, I've said this earlier that when he comes into these scenarios where he's got to do a last to first, he gets desperate and he makes desperation moves, and we've seen that exactly here today.
Crucially, Yepany's from Finland, and they are notorious for not giving a shit. I don't think Yepany is going to move over here, but I don't think he's going to have much of a choice as the DRS. He does get a better exit, but that means very, very little, and I think we might see a bit of a chop off the nose from Hypers here. No, actually pretty polite. Yepany might have a chance to get back at him. It's very close to the chicane.
He lost out on the exit. Yeah, Hyper's got a much better run there, and that's it. That's going to be all she wrote between the two of them, I think. Although Yepany is very quickly closing in.
Might see a gigantic T-bone, but nope.
We're not talking about the steak, that's for sure. But
no crunch,
Hyper's
but
P4.
1.2, sorry to interrupt there, between these two leaders now. 4 laps to go. It's going to be one hell of a job if somebody wants to keep this place.
I don't think he's going to fight, if I'm being honest. And
nope.
if you're wise, you don't fight this. You know, your tires are shot. You're 14 laps in. The guy behind you, who's going to be attacking you in any minute now, is on half the life that you've currently got on your tires. And it's like, well, yes, it's natural. He's going to be faster, but there are some major DRS, some major tow zones here that I could use to, charge my ERS that a little bit more, considering I'm only on 29% after the braking zone of the hairpin. I need to recover any bit of power I can actually generate from this car. And here comes Mizzo.
Somebody straight to the inside. I think he might fight this. Absolutely trying his best to break the toe. Doesn't want to weave too much. But yeah, two drivers that are good friends, I would say, off the track. In my experience, anyway, in Discord voice chats. But I don't know what they're like in their DMs. But I think
back to back. That's when they start.
Definitely gonna give each other a lot of respect, a lot of room.
Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting battle. That's for sure.
I don't see any way that some idiot can hold this.
I mean, Mizzo's playing the conservative mode. He didn't try to overtake in the second straight. He turned his ERS off pretty early. He's been sat in 0 ERS for since the end of that second straight, so he can easily charge it right up. Whereas Samidia is not in the same boat. He's 21%, and he's about to start to get to some fast areas of the circuit where he's going to need the ERS, but Mizzo is just watching him. He's just staring him down and laughing as he's breathing down his neck.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any real rush at this stage for Mizzo to breeze past some idiot. And as you see on the pit straight, briefly flicked to mode 3 and then flicked it straight back.
Well, Samidia might actually lose his car here. So they're very tight.
Absolutely not.
That is
No way.
alright.
No way that's going to happen.
He just took it so tight. It looked like he was going to lose the back end. He was going to step out and throw him. But this is going to be the moment then. Mizzo has charged his ERS for this point. He knows what he's got to do. Nice and simple. There's nothing here somebody could do. Despite his best efforts to lose the toe, it's all going to be for nothing. As there goes Mizzo, straight on past.
Yeah, he's going to have one chance, and one chance only, to get this lead back. If he doesn't get it back here, that's it, race over. He doesn't get a good exit at all on those old tyres. Mizzo, if he withstands this final assault, I don't think there's going to be a kamikaze dive from Samidia, and absolutely not. There we go. I think that may well be all she writes.
I don't know who's got penalties there.
Mizzo does not have penalties, Samidia does.
Oh, even that then in itself is enough to put Mizzo in race win position.
Still a big battle for P5 though, and an interesting final choice of tyres for this final stint. Copy went for the softs, his teammate Danica went for the mediums, and this is going to be around a it's going to be around 10 lap stint. I just think those mediums, although slower in the early stages, might just pay off towards the end. Yefany could come under some serious attack on the final laps of this race.
Right, well,
so it's going to be 9 laps still.
Second to last lap has been started. It's going to be Mizzo leading, and already a DRS gap has been broken. Samidia is definitely going to be falling into P2, and I don't think he's going to lose any more than that. It's just going to be P2 only. Still a really solid result, especially considering the strategy he chose to go for. He just needs to hope he doesn't get a puncture.
Hyper's closing in very quickly on Hugo's. It could be a late move for P3 on track. I'm not sure how it's going to play out with penalties. I know they both have sets of penalties, not counting what Hypers might have for Yefany. Speaking of Yefany, this will be the chance for Danico to take P5 on the road.
He's in mode 0.
CRS off.
Yeah.
Still gets the move done. Doesn't need it.
I think the situation is, I think Yefany didn't get to choose a setup. I think he's on default setup. Oh no, Danico! Oh, that's a big mistake. Oh no, heartbreak for Danico. He did it, and he must have felt so good. He's like, I just got to get a really good exit here. And then back end step out, off into the wall.
Just tried a little bit
He's lucky to still be alive, to be honest.
I mean, 6 seconds, I wouldn't pit, I'd try and tough it out, but he's just picked up a 3-second time penalty as well.
Yeah, P7 at best here, I think.
P7, yeah.
It's a big sad, a very big sad.
Hypers has closed up 1.5 seconds that final lap, so he is well and truly on the back of Hugo's. Mizzo pulled out 2.6 seconds on Samidia, and I think we've got our answer as to what the OP strategy is.
Yeah, that 2-stop is definitely alpha, despite Samidia's best efforts. I mean, if Samidia can pull a 1-stop off here and make it work and get a win, then no one can. He's the guy I rely on to test the 1-stop strategies by pushing those tyres further than anyone can do it. And despite his best efforts, P2 is the best he's going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't bet against him maybe trying the 1-stop in certain other leagues you might be aware of.
I don't know.
I think he might try a different approach on Saturday night, we'll see. But yeah, it doesn't look like that's the one to go for in my mind, as Hypers gets Hugo into the chicane. Hugo getting a terrible exit. Yefany now on copy. This is the final chance. Yepany already in mode 4 as he was even exiting the corner. Not Yepany, sorry, Copy. Yepany's
going
going
for
to
it.
hold that inside. Copy's going to be forced around the outside. They're going to be pretty much neck and neck. Going into the corner. Copy's outbraked himself.
Oh, no.
It's still side by side. It's a real nail biter, but I think Yepany might just have the best here. They're still side by side, still touching wheels.
Copy?
Off the track. They've got one braking zone to settle this. And it's settled in the way of Copy. No, Yepany tries it. And yeah, maybe slightly ambitious there.
Oh,
2 into
Copy.
1 didn't work. Copy muscles his way through.
Oh,
Penultimate corner has a look. Copy holds his nerve, and a big slide from Yepany into the final corner, admitting defeat. I think a very good fight to cap off what I thought was a pretty good race, actually, for Abu Dhabi.
As Abu Dhabi races go, that was all right. Danico, though, with a big sad crawling for a P8.
Danico.
Donuts? Yeah, donuts.
Donuts, yeah, end of the season,
Sort of.
donuts. No
Sort
interest
of.
in the result there. Probably going to kill Fragioco when he comes around the final corner.
Oh, there's a Renault there. Oh, he's
hello.
busted.
League ban for next season, by the way. And JC.
I think others wish they'd done the same thing, to be honest.
JC might look to do the same here. He's about 50 seconds down.
I think JC is easily the most unlucky person when it comes to league racing. This guy has pace. I would never ever say that away from anyone. Well, I think you're your worst enemy. You're your own worst enemy.
The most unlucky. Yeah, exactly. Can't blame myself, so I've got to blame bad luck.
I think he's seen an opportunity. He's doing it. There it is.
Absolutely. Nothing to gain by that.
Well,
Well, maybe one championship point if he decides to jump Danny.
Yeah, he could snatch that point away.
He could steal a point.
Imagine doing that, just yeeting across the line just to nick that point. Oh, Danny wants it. Danny wants it. You can do it, Danny. There it is.
Danny ran out of fuel there.
Oh, did he really? And there's Peel. Oh, he beat him. He actually jumped him. JC got P10.
Jumped him on penalties. I love it. Great stuff.
Wow. What a way to end the season. All right. Well, the final rundown for the final time this season of European Racing Series. It's Mizzo getting the race win. He started on pole. He successfully made the two-stop strategy work, and he got the 25 points in his pocket. Samidia gained P2 with Hypers in P3. Bear in mind, he did do a last two challenge, and he got P3 as a result. Hugo's gets P4, Copy P5, Yepany P6, Yonti P7, Fragioka P8, Spicy P9. And because Just Chilling was that little bit better on the penalties, and I'm only saying little bit, he gets the final point as Danico is the best of the rest and the only other driver to finish, as Eulis, Beaker, Kagan and Dennis all DNF'd this race. Well, who's your driver of the day for the final time?
Final time, it's Yepany.
Yeah?
I'm only going on the basis that I assume that he had a default park firmly set up. He's done really well, if that's the case, to drag that car to 6th. Mixed it up with some good fights, got very unlucky, and I think if he wasn't spun by Hypers, he would have easily been P5. Yeah, very good race from him. Great tyre management, solid pace, and yeah, hopefully he can qualify a bit higher up next season and really make the most of his strong race pace.
And that's it for the European Racing Series, not just to this season, but also to F1 2019. The next season will be starting on the F1 2020 platform, and if you don't buy it, this might be the last time we commentate together.
Yeah, I'm probably going to buy it, let's be honest.
You will.
I'll make an angry tweet, I'll at Codemasters, I'll tell them to fix their game, but then I'll buy it.
Yeah, you will.
And then I'll be here alongside you in Australia.
Yeah.
Complaining about F1 2020. Asking for F1 2019 back, even though I want F1 2017 back. But yeah,
Said no
it's
one
been
ever.
a pleasure. Anything's better than this, Ben. Let's be honest.
Fair play. And on that note, that's the end of the season, the end of F1 2019, and we'll see you in F1 2020.
Yeah, we'll see you not next week, but some period in the future that hasn't been decided yet. Obviously,
it has.
We will keep you. Oh, it has. I don't look at the Discord, by the way.
It's been announced.
I'll find out and I'll tell you. Don't worry. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again on another Tuesday night on a disclosed but not disclosed to me time.
Bye.
Bye.